So my name is Travis Finlayson. I'm currently living in Exshaw, Alberta. I started skiing when I was 3, and so that was quite a long time ago, almost 40 some years of skiing. Currently, right now, I'm employed as a technical rescue specialist for Raven RSM. I train firefighters, search and rescue teams, and a whole bunch of different disciplines, a lot of things like swift water, ice rescue, moving water ice, jet boat rescue, a lot of water-based programs. I'm also working as a firefighter for the Cochrane Fire Service. Working as a rescue specialist, we're always dealing with risk and risk management and dealing with risk tolerance, and that plays heavily into a lot of the sports and activities that I engage in, whether it's backcountry skiing, riding a mountain bike, or paddling different rivers. So there's definitely a lot of overlap of my passions and what I do for a living. I also really enjoy instructing and helping other people, and so it's great when I can get new people out into those different environments and taking new friends paddling and getting them exposed to that, or ski touring with a wide variety of groups, and whether we're going for a big day and I've got my core crew, or we're just going for a fun day and just tag-alongs and people who are just wanting that experience. I guess the longer you play in these environments and the more that you expose yourself to the elements, there's always the opportunity for risk and negative outcomes. Definitely in all of my sports we've had close calls. One I can think of more recently was ski touring out with my buddy Sean Connor, and last minute plans changed just due to overcrowding of one area that we wanted to tour. So we decided to hit another objective that we'd always wanted to do, and conditions were good, conditions were right, or at least we thought they were. So it's a place called the Crowfoot Couloir. Short ski tour into it, you get to the mouth of it or the bottom of it, or we'd switch over to boot packing. So we ski toured up to it, and we'd made a couple of traverses in the mouth of it, and Sean was on the far right hand side and was switching over to boot pack. I was coming across to meet up with him to do that as well. It's a fairly narrow couloir, and we had talked about overhead hazards, and here in the Rockies, that's our biggest concerns, is the overhead hazards that we can't see, that we can't test, just because of the, we get a lot of steep faces and then slopes above them. So as I was making my way across, I looked up and there was a massive slough coming down towards me. And the chute that we were actually in, it didn't release, but there was a huge overhead triangle that broke loose and landed into our couloir. Thankfully, Sean was close to the wall, but I was kind of in the middle, and I took the brunt of it, and I went for a fairly good slide, several hundred meters down the slope. Went over a few rocks, a few cliffs, and finally came to rest quite a ways down the slope. Sean ended up being buried up to about his waist, so he was able to get himself out and get down to me, which was great. And we self-rescued. Did a quick assessment of me, unbeknownst to me, but Sean had noticed that there was parties that were coming in quickly to help because they had seen it from the highway. The avalanche was big enough for them to see that. We got back to the car, quiet ride home, and once we got back here to town, Sean made the call that I should probably go get looked at, and I was fairly concussed, I guess, at that point, and I didn't really realize how injured I was. I was majorly buried, yeah. The majority of me was buried for sure. And I had taken a few knocks off the head, like my helmet was cracked, and tore the buckles off my boot. Lost the pole. Had a few broken bones, fairly concussed, and so close call, but in the end, just relying on my partner, and that actually worked out. There was a couple other groups in that area, and they said that was the first slide that they had seen, or first snow move that they had seen, but after that, everything started releasing, and it was just that turning point for the day. Had a few close calls while paddling. I worked as an expedition guide in the Arctic for 12 summers. We take clients out for 2-week-long canoe trips or raft trips on a bunch of different rivers like the Nahanni, the Burnside. So I spent my summers doing that. Absolutely loved it. And we went out onto the Burnside one summer. We had set up protocols that I was the lead raft. The other two would hang far enough back to be able to react and respond to anything that I saw. So I was coming around the corner and there was just a wall of ice. The whole width of the river, the water was just going underneath it. So I whistled, I got the other two rafts to shore, and I had an escape route, so we weren't worried. And so we paddled over to the side and we were just chatting, and I was making my way back upstream to meet the other two rafts, and then all of a sudden all the ice on the shore broke free and it pinned my oar against my raft, so I couldn't paddle. So by the time I got my oar free, my raft had slammed into the ice wall. And so at that point, I had to figure out how to get the raft off the ice, stop it from going underneath, and get to shore and meet up with the rest of our party. In the end, I tied the rope off the raft to myself on my quick release harness. I would jump from ice pan. The ice pans would come, and I would jump to one and pull the raft, and jump to the next and pull the raft. One flipped, I remember that, and I kind of went in and underneath, and the water was cold. Scrambled back up and on, and was at the end was able to get the raft to shore. And that was, I was emotionally spent and just physically spent after that. Everything I had in me was to get that raft to shore. And so I've been skiing for Icelandic for the last 5 seasons. Been an ambassador with them, and it's been a great relationship with them and a great partnership. I absolutely love the skis that I'm on and the ones that they have gotten me. The variety of the skis, like I'm skiing on a way smaller ski than I ever used to, but I still have the performance of a big ski. I remember, when I was younger, I was skiing like hellbents, which were like 130 underfoot. Now I'm skiing like a 105, or but I still have that floaty feeling and the support and they're still a playful ski, but incredibly stable when you need it. I often get told that I shouldn't be engaging in these sports anymore, or these activities anymore, because I do have 2 boys and I have a family, and all of a sudden now it's like it's not appropriate for me to be doing them. And I kind of disagree, because my life wasn't less valuable when I didn't have kids. I think it's great now that they see me still out doing these things, and I'm getting them involved in it. They love skiing, they love paddling. We do canoe trips, family canoe trips every year. Obviously there's still risk involved in those things. We're not hitting the big rapids and the crazy whitewater, but we're out there for 10 days to 2 weeks and living in the backcountry, and there's risk to that. And I think it's good for them to see that it's okay to engage in that. And things go wrong while we're out there, and we learn how to overcome that, and it's a valuable lesson for them. And I hope that as they see me doing these things and I introduce them to them, that when they get faced with their own risky situations, they learn how to make appropriate decisions and just see how we think things through and how we weigh out the pros and cons to these situations we get ourselves into. And so hopefully it makes them better at it for their own benefits. Yeah. Choosing this life and living here in the Bow Valley, where it's not always economically friendly, is worth it, because when we suffer for that, man, I can go paddling out my backyard 10 minutes down the road. Mountain biking right out in my backyard is some of the best trails here in the Bow Valley, and it's awesome. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Yeah.